Welcome to the HIV podcast. Each week we focus on a person, historical event or pop culture moment linked to HIV and explore the story of what actually happened. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jess, and between us we've been working in the field of HIV for 40 years. Our aim is to get as many people as possible HIV educated.
Welcome to the HIV podcast.
Welcome to another really sad episode of the Romania mini-series. Tissues and digestive biscuits are ready, everyone.
4 chocolate buttons. Oh, it's like Team Digestive or Team Chocolate Buttons.
Well, to be honest, I'll take a crisp any day over chocolate. But, you can't eat those on a podcast. They're very, very loud.
They are. And is it you that likes... Is it you? I say this like I've got 1,000 people I work with. Is it you that likes onion Monster Munch?
Hey, Sarah, there are different times for different types of Monster Munch. So a breakfast food for me is a flaming hot Monster Munch. I wouldn't eat a pickled onion Monster Munch for breakfast, but then I wouldn't eat a flaming hot Monster Munch at any other time of the day other than breakfast.
I remember a time when we worked in the office with somebody who used to heat fish, cod I think it was, in a microwave and have that as a sort of a mid-morning snack.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me.
So
and
you'd
that
have
was
the smells of the fish, and then you'd have the smells of the Monster Munch, and that was the time I drafted my resignation to Sean. No one should start with this.
that both me and this other person sat in. The three of us sat together, didn't we? And then suddenly Sarah disappears, takes herself off to a different office.
Oh gosh, it was just a lot of smells. And this, from me, I love boiled eggs.
Yeah, that is quite a lot. And you quite like fish as well, but just not at 10 in the morning, heated up with vegetables and rice.
It's just unnecessary, isn't it? That was just a very low point in our working life.
It's just, I think it's something to be fairly considerate. Like, I'm not going to lie, Ben, my partner, constantly has a go at me about eating stinky foods on things like a train or a plane or something. Like, if I go to pick up a packet of cheese and onion crisps, he'll be like, no, there are other people sitting close to you. You can't eat those. But I don't really have that care, if I'm honest, which is why I brought pickled onion crisps into an office environment. So sorry about that. And I don't know, do you think about that a lot? Whether you're going to eat stinking people? Nor do I.
No, he's very considerate, too considerate, I think. What would he eat then?
He'd literally go like lightly salted crisps or salt and vinegar. But he even gets upset. So I can't eat a sandwich without putting crisps in it. So I'll sit on a train when we get on it, say if we're going somewhere, longer journey, and I will like open my sandwich up, pack it up with my crisps, put it in. And again, it's not just the smell, it's the noise. So he'll glare at me as I crunch my crisp sandwich and also smell of cheese and onion crisps. So
maybe it's a man thing. My husband does this if I'm eating an apple, and I love apples.
Really, it's that noise annoyance for them, perhaps.
Yes, yeah. When it comes to snoring or heavy breathing, that's completely different, apparently. Oh, I need to do that, otherwise I'll die because I won't be able to breathe.
Excuses, Sarah.
I know, yes. But me crunching an apple, that's borderline divorce.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one, but we've digressed. Where are we at? Are we at number 4? Romania number 4, the mini-series that never was.
Yes, we are. And this week we are looking at somebody called Smiley Poole. The best name ever.
Lovely first name, isn't it?
I bet he is really smiley as well. Okay, so yes, this week we're talking about Smiley Poole, another photographer, just like Stephen is. So what's special about him? Well, I am going to tell you lots of things. So I'm always conscious that we are not big fans of the press. So when someone who works in that industry does something amazing related to HIV, we need to know more, right? Say that again. What?
Oh, I said, let's shout about that. And then you went, say again.
So Smiley is nothing to do with the UK press, sadly. So my opinion of them hasn't changed. But he was involved in raising awareness about the situation in Romania with the American public. And it led to him publishing a book full of his photographs, and it's called Through the White Door. All profits go to HIV charities. We will put the link.
Oh, amazing. Yes, go and check that out. Buy it. That's an order. Well, it's not, obviously, but I can't order anyone to do anything. But I'd advise you to. I'd love it. Consider it.
And if you buy it and then you send us evidence that you've bought it, we'll send you a dark chocolate digestive biscuit in the post.
A thin.
No.
A dark chocolate digestive thin. What have you done now? I'm not sending people dark chocolate digestive.
That's us wrapping up individual biscuits, posting them around the world. Excellent. Okay, Smiley's involvement with people living with HIV started in 1996. He's asked to go to Romania with a team from the Texas Medical Center, including Dr. Klein, and his mission is to take photos for the Houston Chronicle. They want to produce a feature, and it's his first international assignment.
I think that must be to get like your first international one. It must be like a jet setter.
We felt when we went to the International AIDS Conference in Amsterdam.
Always have a tendency to feel like we shouldn't really be anywhere, like we're imposters. He probably
I didn't have
like,
that. I did feel like you were my travel guide.
I did feel like your travel guide.
Half an hour. What are we doing now, Jess? Where are we going? How do we get there? So yes, probably wasn't great for you, but for me, it very much felt like an international assignment.
Do you remember when we went to the hotel, and it was a lovely little hotel, wasn't it? One of the lovely ones on the River Amstel. And I was trying to explain to the guy at reception that it was really hot and there was no fan in my room. It was that real heat wave. And I couldn't open the window because basically there was a roof where anyone could climb into my window. And I was trying to tell him how I might get attacked in the night. He just looked puzzled, just completely puzzled. And I spent the next 3 days just with my window shut.
Did you?
It was like a sash window that you push up. So it'd be really easy for someone just to walk straight across the roof. And there was like a bar like next to where we were. Yeah, it would have been really easy for someone just to walk straight into my room at night.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder every morning I'd be like, morning. And you'd be like, all right.
I'm calling it Amsterdam, the terror days.
I had the best time.
No, it was lovely. It was lovely, to be fair. Apart from, the fear of being attacked in my sleep, it was lovely.
Yeah. Oh, I did not have that fear. Mind you, we were on different floors, weren't we?
Yeah.
Were we? Yeah, we
Yes.
were. I think I was on the higher floor, as it should be.
Yeah.
Because penthouse for me.
Basement for Jess. I knew you were going to say basement.
Okay, back to Smiley Poole. So first international assignment is taking pictures in Romania. And obviously he's prepared. This is what he does for a job. He's a professional, but he wasn't prepared for the emotional impact it would have on him. I don't think anyone actually can prepare themselves for that.
Mm.
So he's taking pictures of children in Romania. Back home in America, he's used to taking pictures of, sports, politicians, that kind of things for the papers to use in their articles. He is not used to taking pictures of children living in sewers or homeless children in the snow.
Oh,
and I think what's difficult is when you're there and you're actually, smelling the sewer, you're feeling the cold because it's snowy. It makes it a lot harder, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And also you want to convey that through your photos, don't you? And that's a really hard thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's a professional, he's got a job to do, and he takes the pictures. It's only when he's flying home that it hits him what he's seen and what he's experienced. And he's like, right, I need to do something. Dr. Klein is on the same flight and is also hatching a plan to launch the Baylor International Pediatric AIDS Initiative. So for Smiley, he has a bit of a kind of moment, really, where he's involved in something with kind of real meaning. It's not to belittle the work he's doing in America, taking his pictures, but this has now taken on a whole new kind of direction for him.
Well, it's affected him, hasn't it? Like like you're saying, he's been there, he's spent time with these children. You couldn't walk away from that without it having an impact on you.
No, I don't think you could. And I think, it all resonates with him, what's happening in Romania compared to, where he lives in America. And he just wants to help change it all.
Just talking about what's happened in Romania has had an effect on us. And we're just talking about it. And it has had an emotional impact on us. Yeah, I can't imagine being there and living through it.
Of course, it would have an impact, wouldn't it? Of course it would. Okay, when he returns to America, the Houston Chronicle runs an 8-page special on the Romanian children, but not much happens. There's no money donated. There's no outrage. I think, it's really hard to get people to take notice, isn't it? Well, we know this. We struggle all the time to get enough kind of media attention for HIV locally. And I think for a lot of people, if it's not directly impacting on your life, you're just going to flick past it, aren't you?
I think that's the thing, isn't it? How do you get people to stop and pay attention?
Yeah.
We still don't have the answer.
No, even after all the years of doing the job. Very true. So Smiley keeps in touch with Dr. Klein, and Dr. Klein asks him to take pictures of his academic lectures. Do you think that'll happen to us one day? One day someone will be like, oh, can I take a picture of you doing your work? And it will just be a mound of Monster Munch, pickled onions, chocolate buttons, and us two in the middle of it all.
That's what we call work.
Yes.
I hope so.
Basically, Smiley and Dr. Klein build a relationship. They have lots of chats about the difference in care between America and Romania. And it led to a story comparing the lives of children in Romania and one of Dr. Klein's patients, a little girl called Janie Queen. So a year later, the Houston Chronicle published another story about the Romanian children, 24-page special this time. And this did grab people's attention. And it led to a really big donation to enable Dr. Klein to set up a clinic over in Romania. So finally, the hard work is paying off.
Okay, yes, this is good. This is good.
Yes. So for Smiley, his photography work in Romania has now led to a wider interest in disparities affecting HIV-positive children around the world and how people are trying to make a difference to reduce those disparities. So he's now not just focusing on Romania, he's also working in Botswana. What happened in Botswana? That was Dr. Klein's next clinic. And his photography is a very visual representation of the differences. I mean, it's way more effective, isn't it, than just writing or reporting on it. A lot of people respond more to visual pictures, just pictures, aren't they?
Yeah. Ones that you look at with your eyes visually.
I'm that person. So I respond better to pictures than writing.
Well, when you're reading something, you're sort of conjuring something up in your own imagination. And I think sometimes, especially with situations like this, actually, the reality is way harsher. And you need to see those images to have that impact, to have that emotional reaction, to then want to help.
Okay, now newspapers move on, don't they? So they move on to other stories. But Smiley doesn't let this stop him. So now he's using his own money and his own annual leave to continue his photography. As we said, not just to Romania, across Africa, South America, and he's covering not just HIV, but maternal health, TB, malaria, Hep C, children's cancer, blood disorders. And he's taking pictures to evidence the difference in different countries.
And in his own time and funding it himself.
Yeah, because he feels that strongly that, people need to know that things are very different around the world, particularly compared to America and here. Everybody has access to the medication or the healthcare that we have.
Well, exactly.
On his website, he talks about what he's learned from all of this, because it has been a true journey, really. And he says, that we can all make a difference. Might not be in the way you expected. It might be in an arena you never explored before, or you might have been preparing for it all your life and you just never knew it. But when your chance to make a difference lands in your lap, I hope you'll grab on. And that is why we had to feature him, because it's someone with no previous affiliation with HIV, no background in the sector, someone who's so moved by what they photograph that it becomes their lifelong mission. And I just think that's awesome.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Just like you said last week, where sometimes you come across people who restore your faith in humanity. Smiley absolutely is another one of those. We said Stephen Doyle. We did an episode on him last week. Yeah, Smiley absolutely is as well.
Yeah, just sees something, thinks that's not right. We need to change this and just gets on with it.
The thing that needed changing, or, this isn't right. They would see this, what's the word I'm looking for? Inequality. They would see, a lot of people would see this inequality and just go, oh, that's really awful. Move on with their day. Not Smiley.
And not Dr. Klein and not Dr. Matusa. These people are like, that's not right. And we just need to change it. Thank goodness for people like this. Otherwise, that situation in Romania would never have changed.
Absolutely. I actually can't believe how much there is to this. I can see now why it was 5 episodes. This could never have been 1 episode, everything we've covered.
Because every time a new name cropped up and you looked into it, you'd be like, well, you're pretty awesome. I think you need to be covered in a separate episode of your own.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew and grew.
Good job, Sarah.
I know, it's our last episode next week, and there is one more person that we haven't covered that we mentioned in this episode, and it's the little girl we mentioned, Janie Queen.
Is it a sad episode, or sort of a sad episode with a happy ending, or just give me a vague idea of what kind of, how prepared I should be?
Oh, well, she made a big difference to children in Romania as well. I mean, there's an element of sadness to it, of course there is, but again, it's someone else who's very impactful.
Okay. I'm excited. So that'll be the last of our mini-series though, won't it? Oh, I'm sad it's going to be over.
I know. It's the end
I
of
love this.
Romanian coverage.
And then will normal service resume back to weekly episodes?
Yes, I'm awaiting my instructions from you.
Well, we're having a little meeting next week, aren't we? So
podcast planning meeting.
Yeah. We realised...
but you love those. You love this planning meeting because you've got a special year planner and lots of different coloured pens.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I love a year planner. Love a planner. Love a list. Love a planner. Oh, I'm well up for it. What Sarah and I realised was we just need to be way more organised and essentially start planning out our entire years because, the podcast is growing, which is amazing. Hi, everyone in Sweden. Say hello to Sweden, Sarah. Because we've just entered their charts.
Oh, I love Sweden.
No, so we were in the sexuality charts. I think we were number 56. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure we were around there. But hello, Sweden. Thanks for having us. But yeah, basically, the long and the short is we just need to be much more organised because this thing, just as we wanted, is growing rapidly. So thank you to everybody who's aboard and with us and part of our little community. It's just amazing.
It really is, isn't it? Nothing good to add to that. Look, I've just given up. I was like, done my bit, Jess, you take over.
I know. Well, you look dumbfounded. I was just hoping that you were so shocked that we were now in Sweden's charts that you were speechless.
Sweden is one of my favourite countries. I'm not going to lie.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have. It's lovely.
Really? I thought you were going to say no, and I was going to be like, why is it your favourite? But, I can't do that.
It's just beautiful. It's a really nice country. The people are just so lovely and friendly and polite. It's like all Scandinavian countries.
Drop us a little DM. Just say hi. We'd love to know how you found us and you're welcome aboard. Doo-doo. That was my, that was me doing a train thing. Shall I just end the episode now? It's over, isn't it?
Thanks for listening to the HIV podcast. If you enjoyed our podcast, please like, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You can now also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the HIV podcast for behind the scenes insights and videos.